Hey, if you're a musician, songwriter, producer, or just any lover of music, you should be listening to new art music. Yes, the weird stuff. The stuff that sounds like nails on a chalkboard. The stuff that makes your face scrunch up like you've smelt something gone off. Here's why the most forward-thinking musicians are already doing this, and why you should be too. First of all, it's happening right now. Contemporary art music, contemporary classical music, is a genre where you can hear something that was written last week by someone still breathing that doesn't sound like it came from a Spotify algorithm or a TikTok trend. It's new music made by actual humans trying to push sound somewhere that maybe it's never been before, or find the fullest expression they possibly can within a genre. It's a place where you can still find genuinely new musical ideas. Also, AI is probably going to kill everything else. There's this huge wave of new musical AIs that generate music that's, like almost indistinguishable from the top 40 good. And it's getting scarier and scarier by the day, Catchy hooks, done. Vibey production, all done. Emotional chord progressions, done. All you need is a prompt. And it's awful, by the way, what these big AI companies are doing to artists and their rights at the moment. It's just horrendous. I learned a lot about this at the Ivers Academy Summit, which I'll have a video on soon. And I'm not being pretentious when I say this, but commercial music, it can get formulaic. And that is one of the reasons why AI has gotten quick at understanding it, and it's going to start doing the job of artists and producers more quickly and efficiently than human beings ever could. Companies like Spotify are already starting to allow AI onto their platforms, and soon enough they'll be pumping out their own AI music to pull back ad and royalty revenue away from artists and feed it back into themselves. But here's the thing, I don't think AI can really fake true experimentalism yet. It also doesn't really always fit on platforms like Spotify, where they're already starting to take advantage of people. You see a lot more of it on YouTube, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, places like that. And there's something distinctly human about it, and something that doesn't quite fit those big algorithms. So I think AI might eventually pass the Turing test for pop music. It might even do it for traditional classical music, but new contemporary classical music, especially the stuff at the fringes of the genre that challenges perception, is going to be one of the last refuges of human unpredictability. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's not that dense. It's not as dense as you might think, and you can ease your way into it. Now, I get it. When people hear contemporary classical music, they think unlistenable, abstract art, modern art, rubbish, whatever, right? And sure, some of it is really intense, I'm not going to lie, but here's the thing. You don't have to dive in straight at the deep end. Start with something more ear-friendly, but something that's still fresh and imaginative. I think of people like Toru Takemitsu, for example, or Messiaen. The sounds of Messiaen's modes, for example, in Rain Tree Sketch 2. It's gentle, rich, harmonically lush, but it's still quietly veering away from tonality, and it's still radical in its own ways. Or check out something by a living composer like Cassandra Miller. This is a clip from her piece Leaving. It's hypnotic and it's beautifully paced and uses a unique notational style, which I've also copied, taken advantage of in my own work, but it's not as abrasive or overwhelming as the heights of New Complexity, for example. Honestly, you don't even need to know where to start. There are tons of editorial YouTube channels out there that curate stuff exactly like this, and I'll link a few favorites below. Channels that post score videos of recent works by living composers, including, for example, my own work that I put on my channel. So yeah, some new music can be really chaotic, but some of it is extremely peaceful and heartbreaking and beautiful. and some is just strange in a way that makes you want to hear it again. It scratches that itch in your ear, scratches that itch in your brain. The point is this: there's a way in, and you don't have to get it straight away. You just have to be open to it. Which brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is that if you love music, you should love all of it. And look, I love pop music. I love all sorts of genres of music, and I produce in loads of different genres. I write in loads of different genres. I'm a songwriter and a producer as well as a composer. But if you really love music, why would you limit yourself to specific flavors? Why would you not want to try all of it? When you go to a different country, you want to engage with all the culture, all the different types of food, even if you end up hating them. So if you call yourself a music lover, then shouldn't you be curious about all of it, even the stuff that doesn't immediately make sense in your brain, doesn't immediately connect with you? Some of the most interesting music I've ever heard didn't hit me instantly. It jarred me, it confused me. It made me ask, why does this make me feel so uncomfortable? And discomfort and the aesthetics of discomfort. I'll link an article about this below, but it's where magic happens sometimes. Listening to new art music is like setting sail into a world you don't understand yet. Hence my setting. It can be scary, but it's also exhilarating. You might find nothing, which is fine as well. You might end up just hating it even after repeated exposure. But the point is, you might find something. And no matter what, I think you're guaranteed to grow from the experience, as long as you don't immediately think, oh, this is rubbish, it's just random noises, blah, blah, blah. When you listen more and more to contemporary classical, you begin to develop taste and an ear for it in the same way you develop taste and an ear for any other genre of music, being able to distinguish rubbish pop from good pop, or in other arts like the visual arts, being able to distinguish what's quality and what's not quality, what's a great painting and what isn't. Also, this isn't to say that pop and other genres are not art music. All music is new art music, and in fact, you can hear pop and loads of other weird, wacky genre influences on the contemporary classical stage these days, more and more. Take, for example, composers like Nobuto, for example. I'll play a clip.
Tōru, beautiful relaxation.
Brutal. 1, 2.
Let's go.
If you make music, listening to this kind of music will change how you think. If, like me, you're a songwriter or a producer, as I am, listening to contemporary classical gives you completely new ways of thinking and texturing your music. Most of us think about music in terms of some chords and a melody, vertical, horizontal, harmonic, melodic. But what about texture, space, silence, rhythm, tonality, types of tonality that aren't just the major and minor keys or the church modes? Producers are a little better about this than songwriters, I think, because they think about things like timbre and energy. Producers will spend hours trying to find just the right snare sound or something. But listening to music that doesn't follow any particular song form or doesn't follow the rigid types of tonality that our ears are so used to will just show you the spectrum of things that are possible and the limitations you're putting on yourself by not engaging with this music. And one of the best examples of this, one of the most famous examples, is A Day in the Life by the Beatles. That track, it would not exist without the Beatles being curious about avant-garde and experimental music. And for me, it's one of my favourite Beatles tracks. It's not just chord progressions and a melody, it's structural risk-taking, orchestral chaos and collage inspired by new contemporary classical music of the 60s. And that kind of experimentation doesn't come from sticking with safe methods and things you know. It comes from absorbing ideas that challenge your assumptions and your perceptions about music, which I think contemporary art music, weird experimental music, it does better than almost any other genre. So no, listening to new art music isn't about being pretentious. It's not about being a snob after a concert saying, oh, I got all that. It's about curiosity and exploration and finding new worlds, finding new soundscapes to immerse yourself in. staying human in a world where the machines are often catching up, and also writing about those machines.
Total mental energy flow is relaxed.
It's about keeping your ears open, not just to what sounds good, but to what sounds possible, and good will come after. Even if you don't end up loving it, you'll be better for having tried. And the only real mistake you can make as a musician is thinking that you already know what music is, and you already know what you want to write, that you already know everything about it, because you don't, I don't, no one does. There's always more to learn, and there's always more to explore. So if this video got you even a little bit curious about new music, and I hope it did, go find something. Go listen to some Xenakis or Ligeti or someone like that, someone approachable like Miller or Ben Nobuto if you're into sort of hyperpop and glitch and stuff like that. Xenakis was one of the first composers that really resonated with me. I just thought his music was so cool, and it was something completely different to anything I've ever heard. Or you could even go for someone like Berg, one of the second Viennese school composers, because he sort of teeters between atonality and tonality. And if you find something that blows your mind, let me know, drop it in the comments. Tell me what kind of music you're listening to and what music really opened the doors for you. It opened your ears up to new possibilities. So see you next time, and stay curious.